Here's an IS-7 match on a highway. Platoon with fire sprays, VK7201, V Campos, Waffenträger E100. So, I do rather like my IS-7. It took me a long time to get it, since I've had it on lock basically forever. But there are a couple of issues I have with this tank. First of all, it needs a hill to actually hit its top speed. And second of all, its gun is rather unimpressive. It has pretty poor gun handling, and all this for 250 regular pen, which isn't bad, but only 303 gold pen, so the gold round on this thing is trash. Completely useless. But despite that, I often load them first in a round just because, you know, if I run into something really scary, I want to be sure I'll punch through it. But with only 303 pen, you can't really be sure. Just more sure than if you fire the regular AP. Now, the IS-7, to even get into this game, had to be nerfed into the ground. In reality, this thing had an 8-round tray for an autoloader. I used to think, the way it was described in translated documents, I used to think it was actually just a gun rammer, but no, it was a proper autoloader. There was an 8-round cassette, which contained 4 rounds of AP, 4 rounds of HE. The gun would keep it, or the loader would keep it stocked. So the tank did still have a loader, his job was to replenish the cassette, and the tank would auto-load the 130mm gun. So my first shot goes into the side of a T-54. The good thing about the gun is it does quite a lot of damage. Like the 75, it hits hard. In fact, the gun is basically a direct counterpart to the German 128. Historically, the tank was quite a bit faster than this. I mean, if we account for the way World of Tanks takes a tank's maximum sort of road speed to be its, or like an average of its road speed and off-road speed to be its maximum speed, the IS-7 should still be faster than this. I think its road speed was like 60 kilometers an hour or something. It was quite fast for a very large tank. Well, not very large so much as very heavy. It's not actually too big. So, there are two things I think that could be done to bring the IS-7 back into relevance as far as Clan Wars competitive play goes. First one is just give it a better gold round, really. That's all you need to do for the gun, and give it a bit better traction. At the moment it has the worst ground resistance value in the game, which means it handles like an absolute bucket of shit. Improve it even just a little, so it can even think of seeing that top speed on flat ground, and you might have a really solid tank with a good Clan Wars gimmick. I mean, heavy with that kind of speed in Clan Wars would be really, really useful. See, the problem is I think Wargaming is still trying to keep this tank balanced as if it's the olden days when it was actually very strong. When, in fact, power creep has seen things like the T-57, the E-5, even the 50B to an extent, especially before it was nerfed. They all just overshadow this because they have really, really good guns on good chassis that not only, like, they don't have armor as reliable as the IS-7s, but they have enough armor and enough mobility and enough firepower that they're better balanced, I think. The IS-7 trades out too much. But that's just my bitching. I mean, there are probably a lot of people who say it's fine as it is. In pub matches, it's not bad. I mean, it can feel a bit annoying at times, like you're fighting your tank, but it's not bad. The issue is the IS-7's completely fallen out of competitive play. NDP used to use them a lot for Clan Wars, even after everyone else stopped using them, because they're better at other heavies than being a breakthrough tank. Like, the E100 doesn't usually have the speed to do it, and the E5 doesn't have the armor. But for the most part these days you won't see any serious clan running IS-7s for any strat. Just a kind of sad situation. I don't think a tank needs to be Clan Wars viable to be good, I think it just helps a lot. can see though it does have quite good camouflage for a heavy tank. I took up this position so I'd have shots at these guys up in town. Looks like it's somewhat spot across. And you just saw the camper get deleted there by the enemy Waffenträgers. So I'm kind of playing patient at the moment, waiting for puppies to drive into my shots. You can see I am quite heavy-handed with the gold in this tank. Once again, it's just because the gun... Like, 250 AP pen isn't bad. A lot of the tier 10 mediums have around 250, and it's workable. The problem is, a lot of the tier 10 mediums have much more accurate, better handling guns. Or in the case of, say, the 121, they can actually afford to get really close to their target. They got the speed and the small size to do it. The IS-7, if you need to fight in a standoff, which you will, because it's not fast enough to flank people anymore, and it's not accurate enough to snipe. If you have to engage someone from long range, even if you aim for a weak spot, there's every chance the shell's going to go everywhere but where you aim it. So gold just helps that little bit, I feel. It does make it a very expensive tank to play though. But here's the one nice thing about the IS-7 that has never really been a thing, a problem. The armour. See, I just bounced a Foch 155 and a fucking E50. The turret is basically impenetrable. Even the hatches are very, very difficult to pen from the front. The hull is very difficult to pen. Even the lower front. Like, this tank's armour scheme is so good. So good. Even from the side, quite often you'll bounce them because of the hilariously bullshit spaced armor. In fact, I regard IS-7s as more of a pain to kill than E100s or mice, because at least the German tanks are giant fucking boxes. This thing is all angles all the time. And spacing as well. Spacing and angles, a wonderful combination. But you can see it struggles to get up hills, it struggles to turn, it just doesn't have the agility it really should. Even if you gave it straight line speed and took away its turning, like a giant BTSV, I think that'd be okay. But, oh well. All the while, Wargaming have been adding in new, progressively more powerful heavy tanks while ignoring the poor little IS-7. I'm hoping soon that will change with the touted nuclear rebalance of the game. Nice easy 4K damage game. Didn't actually take a single damaging shot. Once again, this thing's armor is magical. But I do think that it is in need of a little bit of love from Wargaming, and hopefully it'll get some soon.